I want to point out that I got absolutely nothing against Tim Pool. It goes without saying, but when you make a video on the internet criticizing someone's opinion, your fans and their fans believe that automatically you're mortal enemies or something. That's not the case. I just think that Tim Pool's opinion is interesting. It's getting shared by a lot of people. And I want to comment on it because I disagree with it. And I want to show you guys why I disagree with it. So, a couple of hours ago, the judge, which was presiding over the Thao Thao case, which is a police officer involved in the George Floyd incident, and the officer in question was found guilty. Now, from what I gathered, and please correct me if I'm wrong, like please let me know in the comment section if I'm misinformed or something like that. But this particular officer didn't do anything besides telling people to stand back, which is police protocol. Like, you're supposed to do this whenever a police officer arrests someone. If you're on the scene, like if you're the partner, you're supposed to tell other people to stand back. Now, there's no reason to believe that this officer was thinking that his partner was killing Mr. Floyd, right? So, a lot of people are finding this verdict to be controversial. Is this safe to say? I hope it's safe to say. I saw even moderate and liberal people being a little bit cut in the middle regarding this particular cop and saying, yeah, the verdict is a little bit too harsh for him. But anyway, right, that's not the reason that I'm making. I'm not analyzing this particular event. I want to talk about Tim Pool. Now, Tim Pool himself is believing that the verdict is unfair, and he says that stop being cops in Democrat-run cities and maybe you won't go to prison. And this is something that he echoes on his show many times, right? This is not just like one thing that he said and I decided to make a video about it. But I seen him like repeating this over and over, you know, like just stop being cops. I think like he also said this regarding the guy on the metro. He also said it's like stop trying to help other people. And the main issue with this is that it's so simple to say, right? Like stop doing your job. And when I look at Tim Pool, like, he's a content creator. Like, if someone were to say, stop being a content creator, how easy would that be to accomplish? Especially when Tim Pool is a very rich individual. I mean, I'm looking at his chicken city. Recently, I think, like, one of his roosters passed away. But, like, he makes a lot of money just by, you know, putting a live stream over there and filming chickens. So just by that, the live stream is probably enough for an Eastern European like myself to live very happily and comfortably for months with the revenue that would come from there. Like, from me looking at Tim Pool, he is incredibly wealthy, right? Like, unbelievably so. And he makes a lot of money. But even him with his wealth, I believe it would be very difficult for him to stop content creation. Like, if someone just said, well, just quit your job. I mean, there's a reason why the left uses persecution culture, why we see cancel culture. Like, what is cancel culture? Threatening people that they're going to lose their jobs. It's a punishment. It's something so severe that it's enough to get everyone in line. So to simply come out and say, just stop being a cop. Like, it's so easy, isn't it? But, like, would you do it? Would you drop your job? I understand that Tim Pool may not like police officers very much. I mean, he already left Democrat-controlled city, but he also is probably in the Guinness World Record book of getting swatted. I think like he got swatted 9 times and then I lost count. So I understand, you know, like he doesn't like police officers, like that's fine. But like if you're talking about an actual argument and you're actually like trying to give advice to people, well, I'm sorry, but like first of all, it's unreasonable advice, and secondly, we saw RoboCop 3. You know, it's something that already happened. It's like when police officers quit, then they started hiring criminals. The hilarious thing is that while this is a movie and it's fiction, it's not that far from reality. Because there have been places around the world in human history where the police officers that are the good ones, they did quit. And in exchange, you had thugs, you had criminals, you had... Because the thing is like... The demand for police officers increase, and then people are willing to put up even with the worst cops, just as long as they see a man in uniform. Like, historically, this is what happened in places that have demoralized their police force. Like, this is nothing new. It happened in Europe, in certain countries as well, usually due to low pay. Like they started neglecting paying police officers, and especially if you have riots and you keep sending the police officers to fight with the rioters over and over again. It also happened in France, to a smaller degree than it's happening in the United States. But during the Yellow Vests, like, they kept using their police force. They got fatigued. The police officers were tired and getting insulted constantly, and it's a job where you don't get any thanks. You know, like, no protester is going to thank you for showing up and telling him to go home. So yeah, mixed with lower of pay, mixed with them overusing their police force, they had a lot of police officers quitting. And in exchange, they were replaced with police officers that weren't as professional, didn't know exactly how to perform their jobs. And you get to see what happened with the recent riots. Like, in France, they managed to amount to millions of euros in damage. Well, the same riots that tried to happen in Britain, they were immediately suppressed. I think, like, they were suppressed in a couple of hours in London. So, like, my point is, like, you're not going to have, like, this utopia. It's like, okay, well, people disagree with how the system functions, so they're just going to quit, and the system is going to be desperate because they don't have enforcers. It's not how it works. It's the same with YouTube, right? Like, I noticed that Tim Pool also disagreed with a lot of terms of service changes at YouTube. Terms that forbade you from talking about the election, terms that forbade you from talking about the vaccine or the pandemic. I didn't see Tim Pool quit. And even if, like, let's say Tim Pool would have said, okay, well, because of my integrity, I refuse to use this platform, I'm going somewhere else, he would have just been replaced by another political pundit commentator. You would probably be replaced with Vosh. It would probably be replaced with Sam Piker. Like, just because you're quitting doesn't mean, like, there aren't other people that are willing to do your job for you. So if you're looking at individuals, like, for the individual in question, yes, it's very difficult to quit his job. But even assuming that the individual in question would quit his job, there's like 1,000 other people willing to take it. So the system is never going to run out of enforcers. They're never going to run out of police officers. It's just that the quality of the police officers is going to go down. And what I noticed that's going to happen, and it's very interesting, you know, like Tim Pool keeps talking about the Civil War. I don't think there's going to be a civil war in the United States. I just think, like, people from blue states are going to move to red states. And you're not even going to have an ideological divide. What will happen is that the people who move from the blue states to the red states are going to bring their culture with them, are going to bring their voting habits with them. And eventually, the more people leave blue states, the more purple the red states become. And you get to see this on the internet as well. Like, when Tumblr went down, Twitter and Reddit became worse. Like, all those people, they migrated to other platforms and brought their culture with them. And then you have similar events, like when NeoGAF went down. Other websites went worse. So no, like, I genuinely don't think that Tim Pool has a point here, right? Like, simply stating, well, people shouldn't be police officers isn't going to fix anything. And the worse that the blue states get, the more people from blue states are going to go to red states, and they're going to vote for the same shit which made the blue states bad in the first place. Because again, it's not the ground, it's not the soil that creates the culture which makes people want to leave. No, it's their voting habits. It's literally policy. And if you bring that policy in other places, well, you're going to get more of the same. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.